What's going on, YouTube? So, what if I told you originally Rob De Niro was considered for the role of Dick Tracy, the detective in the movie? Came on back in 1990, would have been starring with Madonna. Yeah, he was originally the guy picked, but it went to Warren Beatty. He turned it down. Kind of makes sense. I could see it with the dark hair, the jacket, the coat, the vibe, the aura. Um, Beatty and Madonna were interesting. They definitely had an interesting what you call on and off type of chemistry, which was like it's one of them time period things that you kind of had to appreciate or to see. I don't know if De Niro would have wanted to play second fiddle in a movie that was going to, ultimately highlight her, but I remember this film very well. I went to a theater in Hampton, Virginia to go see it. It was over where the old Coliseum Mall was. And I remember going to go see it at an afternoon because I did get the soundtrack, the tape, and I did like that Madonna slow cut Sooner or Later. And Vogue was on there, but Sooner or Later was the Torch song. And she did those kind of things. And I'm veering off a bit, but I'm going to come back on it. This is why Madonna does what Lady Gaga, who is, I think, more talented, but she never reached the heights that Madonna did. Madonna did all these type of things, made them work, put a song here, did a vibe there. You know, when you didn't see Deja Vu and you've been, some people have never were in a coma and how history repeats itself and you've seen it before and it comes back. Well, this is that kind of thing. But Dick Tracy was an interesting adventure movie. It seemed like it was a bit clustered though. It was kind of like stagnant. It went on a bit too long in parts. But the chemistry of Madonna and Beatty was very intense. It definitely, you could feel something there with that. And so with Rob De Niro, I don't know if it quite would have been the same. And plus, it being a musical and that sort of thing, I don't know. Sometimes you look at things in hindsight and you kind of like, maybe it would have worked. Maybe it wouldn't. Kind of like all over the place. You just can't quite put your finger on it, but you just know that, hey, this thing is, I don't know, kind of leaves at least something to be desired, and it's kind of like, okay, I don't know if we're gonna do that. But anyway, needless to say, and say to the needle, um, I think that they went with the right personnel, you know, because it takes a certain type of role, and Warren Beatty did do a pretty good job in the film. You know, it's like I remember that movie like yesterday, and I remember the hype behind it, and a whole nine. And that's when you could have like those kind of projects come out. They did huge numbers. People went to go to movies left and right. They were bringing comic book hero people like that because Batman had came out in '89, and then so Dick Tracy, and you see a lot of this coming into view. And it wasn't sensationalized with anime and everything that you got today, and plus where they just recycle everything like 80 ways. It was actually, okay, we gonna team you up, we put this out, you know so it was an interesting hit in the field, but it was definitely what I'd say loaned itself to a time field. It's not something that I would say any other time. Just saying. But anyway, let me know what you think. Did Rob De Niro do the right thing by turning down the Dick Tracy role, which went to Warren Beatty? Would you like to see him with Madonna in the movie? You know, Interesting thoughts and takes, because at that time she was in her prime and her peak, and he was still near the end of his prime. But this was right when before Goodfellas came out, so I can understand what the way he was, because he was still in high demand. Interesting. Let me know what you think. Please like, subscribe, welcome thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands. Keep your mind clear. Watch out for another. Share if you like, and hit that membership, because when you do requests like this come true, stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free. I'm out. Peace.